very good afternoon to you and welcome to today's edition of Joy Business Masterclass. Masterclass is powered by Joy Business and brought to us by Goyle. Goyle, good energy, Goyle, Yenara, Yedia. Masterclass comes your way every Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. and runs all the way through to 2:15 p.m. here on your superstation Joy 99.7. My name, as always, is Yaw Anim Barnafo, and I'm glad to be your host for today's edition of Masterclass. We started a certain conversation on Masterclass here last week on psychological safety at the workplace, psychological safety at work. And a couple of things stayed with me in that conversation. I'll just share them very quickly. But in that conversation, we had with us the CEO of Addison International, Uncle James Addison, sharing some thoughts with us. We continue that conversation today. But just very briefly, for those of us who missed the show last week, a video is available online, myjoyonline.com. Go there or go to our YouTube page or our Facebook page. You can by all means watch the video of what happened last week. We're also streaming live on Facebook right now. So for those of you who are not driving and who want to watch the show instead of listen to it, please tune in and also join the show. Here are a couple of things that he shared from that conversation which stayed with me about psychological safety at work. Number one, he said that the psychological safety of an employee at work is directly proportional to their productivity. The psychological safety of an employee at work is directly proportional to their productivity. And this one goes straight to employers. Always remember that the state of mind of your employee affects how well they're able to perform at work. The second thing that stayed with me was also that research has shown that about 60% of absenteeism at work is related to the psychological issues at the workplace. About 60% of absenteeism at work is related to psychological issues at the workplace. We're not saying that everything that happens is blamed on the work, but we're saying a significant part of it affects why people don't show up for work. So when people are bringing you excuse duties, they are not well, they are not showing up for work, oh, I have to do this, oh, I have an emergency, I'm not well. It's probably because something is happening at work that's causing them to do that. The last thing that he also mentioned, which stayed with me, was that, again, according to an online research, close to about 57% of employees leave their job because of their bosses. Hence the statement, people leave people. People don't leave organizations. People leave people. People don't lead organizations. Today we continue in that same conversation under the umbrella topic, psychological safety at work or the workplace, and we'll be looking at the 2 models and the 4 stages of psychological safety. Back in the studio with us, Uncle James Addison. You're welcome to the conversation today, Uncle James.
Thank you. Yeah.
People leave people. People don't leave organizations.
Yeah.
That's a strong one.
Yeah. We work for people, not organizations.
Not for organizations.
That's why somebody will say, as for Yaw, I can't disappoint him.
Right.
In the long run, he can't disappoint the company. So it's very important that we see the people as the most important resource.
Right.
And I think these are some of the ways to do that. And thank to Goyle for such a nice program. I think after this, I have to design some EI training pro bono for
Goyle.
For Goyle.
Yeah. If you are listening and you work at Goyle or you know somebody at Goyle, tell them that we're giving them shout outs on Masterclass.
Yeah.
And something pro bono is coming
their way.
Yeah.
They've done very well. Right.
Okay, James, let's go straight to today's conversation. Still under the topic of psychological safety at work. Today we're looking at 2 models and 4 stages of psychological safety. Just sharing some more knowledge for employers to appreciate better, and also for employees to understand why their colleagues behave the way they do. So that together we all become better. If our institutions and our entrepreneurs become better, our businesses become better, they generate more, it creates a good economy, and we are all better for it, isn't it? So let's go ahead and share that additional information.
Thank you very much. My shout out to all the KTGs and Absunians. If they are watching or you are watching, tell them that your gentleman is in the studio.
I have some Absu guy in my office. I'm sure he's listening. You know yourself.
So Absu 93. Right. Good. Now, today we are looking at the process of building the psychological safety at the workplace. Now, when people start working, psychological state become a process for them. It's not the day 1, day 2, year 1, year 2 that they will be able to feel psychologically safe. So we need to move them from one stage to the other. So briefly, we're going to look at psychological safe workplace, the 2 dimensions of psychological safety. We'll look at the psychological safety garters, and then I will introduce people to the 4 levels of psychological safety. Then I will go ahead and look at it a little bit detailed. So we're going to look at inclusion safety, learner safety, contributor safety, challenger safety. Then we'll draw some conclusions which are likely to be the importance of getting your place to be psychologically safe. So there is other places where people wake up in the morning and they are eager and willing to take interpersonal risks and learning. I call such places a place that have psychological safety, because people sleep and they are happy to wake up and go to work.
They look forward to going to work.
Look forward to go to work. That means conducive atmosphere has been created, especially psychologically. Because most of the time there are places that they are well paid, but other things may not be that good. So people still go, okay, because of the school fees, as you tell, I'm still paying school fees, so let me go. But there are some places that joy is there. It's not too much about the money. Money is very, very important, but we need to place a premium on some of these things. Now, psychological safety progresses in a team for a person. A person progresses from one stage to the other. Now, first, people want to be included. So when people are employed, they want to feel that I am here. It's a psychological inclusion. They have their office, they have their rooms, the driver is there, the car is there, it's fully air conditioned. When they are even eating kokonte, they are the kokonte joints, still the air condition is still on, because he doesn't want to come back and feel any heat. So we're still in China. So all these conditions are there, but you'll be surprised the person may feel that I am not here, I'm not included. So inclusion stage is very, very important. We'll look at detail of it. Then the second stage is they want to learn. Because most of the time, learning on the job is also very, very important, especially in this part of the world where most of our university is more of theoretical background and those kind of things. Coming into the job, you'll be surprised that all that you've learned were just to help you to read and write, because you're going to do entirely different thing at the workplace. So people want to get into the job, and when they are given the opportunity to learn, they have a boss who teaches them. They have a company that sends them to training from time to time. It makes them feel that. The third stage is they want to contribute. Now they've been accepted. They've given the opportunity to learn. Now they want to contribute. That place too, there must be psychological safety. Because if you do well in the first, second, and you fail in the third, that means you shouldn't have even started at all. Because the contributing state is where the person is now well good at the job. Now he's going to contribute. Now the last but not the least is the fourth stage, which is to challenge the status quo. They call it the challenger status. It's very, very, now the person is so wild that a whole lot of things are going to change.
You say do it this way. Say why?
Yes.
The policy says we must do this way. Why?
Why? Yes. Now they start to question most of the things that has been established already. Are you getting my point? So here they do normally what we call, I will borrow some word from the military. They call it meta recognition, metacognition. METACOGNITION. That is, think about the thinking. Are you getting my point? So they get to that stage now, they want to question everything. And I remember one of our lecturers, he said, if you complete your master's or PhD and everything is okay with you, it means you've done nothing. Because even the theories you passed through, you should be able to challenge some of them.
Please say that again.
If you complete your PhD or your master's and everything is okay, all the theories are sound, that means you've done nothing. You did not learn anything. It's a stage that you need to question and come out with so many things. So, now that we are lucky to continue, the last thing I'm going to do, we have something, what we can do as a nation to prepare people for psychological safety.
How can
we
help?
Yes. And I think you asked a question that, do our orientation, contribute. Are you getting me? So that will be the last thing I'm going to do.
Right.
That one is national.
Right.
How can we help ourselves as a nation so that our work environment, the church, the places we meet, the home will be psychologically safe? Now remember,
I'm sure that'll be an interesting one.
I'm
and
telling
if you're
you,
listening
that's
now,
why I'm
please
putting it last.
make a note of it. Don't miss that show. It's the last one we'll talk about in about 3 or 4 weeks.
Yes.
Make sure you listen to that
And
one.
yeah, you know something, imagine your child,
Yeah.
he knows you. So you've come to this office with your child, right? Now, as soon as you leave, Sarah and Addison, they will take care of the child, but the child will start looking around because he doesn't see you. Although there's a security man there, but the child sitting here without you in the head, she or he doesn't feel secure.
Yeah.
But when you was coming, you could see the tight security and those kind of things. This is what we are talking about. It's a very important concept that we need to really understand. Then we will look at what I call they do all these things, right? They go through these 4 stages with regard to what? Increase in respect and permission.
Right.
So we'll talk about the 2 dimensions. Now the 4 stages of building psychological safety has 2 dimensions. We can say X and Y axis. Those that are very good in accounts and those kind of things, right? So let's say the X axis is respect, the Y axis is what? Permission.
Yeah.
Now what then is respect? This is the level of regard and esteem that teams give to a given person. In other words, it is how the team values and appreciates that individual. So you bring somebody to the workplace, the person is hired, the person needs a respect to operate as against permission. Are you getting my point? So there are places that if somebody is a CEO and is on the board meeting, sometimes when they enter, everybody stands up. You getting my point? Yeah. It's a sort of respect for the person. Are you getting my point? Sometimes when there's hot areas between 2 employees, employees, and he steps in, it's like the chief, like Otum for or the Nenayesi. Good.
Calming effect on
that is it. Now, permission. If people will feel safe at the workplace, they need permission. So permission is the degree to which the team allow a person to participate and influence. Are you getting my point? So respect, Y axis, then X axis what? Permission. Now let's look at something. There is something we call the psychological safety guard test. These 2 most important opportunities, respect and the permission, is not always the case. It's an ideal situation, which is very, very good. But now, look at something. This is there is a place that they will give you respect, but no permission. You can't do anything. But whenever you enter the body, CEO, everybody gets up. Are you getting my point? And when you are coming, they open the doors for you. But none of your policies have ever gone through. The board chairman will shoot it all the time. The stakeholders, they will shoot it. So you are just there, but it's like, I don't know, there's a term for it before we finish. I mean,
it keeps jumping out at me, but I don't know whether it's appropriate to say it.
Maybe that is why it's not coming from me as well. So they will give you the respect. So this is one challenge, one gutter, right? Safety gutters. Safety, psychological safety has its own gutters. That means you fall into it if it is not properly balanced. So a situation whereby you have a respect but no permission, it leads to something we term the paternalism. Paternalism, that is, it leads to micromanagement. So whatever you say, they want to be very sure, they don't trust you in any way. They feel that no, something. It's like they shouldn't have even employed you. You get to my point? Yeah, chairing a meeting self, they have issues. So one of them have to be there. Are you getting my point? Everything that is decided there must seek the approval. So in the meeting, you can't confirm anything subject to the approval. That means the respect has been given you. Go and chair the meeting, but you are nobody. It's like some people in opposition. Are you getting my point? So there are other cases that they will give you permission, but no respect. Are you getting my point? They give you the permission. You do all that you have to do, but they will never accord you the needed respect. That means they get value for you, but they don't attach value to you. It's very, very important. So Permission but no respect will lead to exploitation. The people feel that, Charlie, I'm being used. Are you getting my point? I come up with creative ideas, innovative ideas. I remember I met the top guys in the GRA at Kofodia, and they told me that is one young guy in the office that started some information system, and the thing is really working for them. And I was happy they did mention the name of the person there. That means that person has been what? Respected. That has the value for that person has been told to others who may not be in the know. So note, the team or the manager tries to extract value while not valuing the person who creates the value. That is when a respect is given but no permission for you to do anything. It's very, very important. No, so let's start with the inclusion safety. Now, when people come into the workplace, inclusion safety satisfies the basic need to connect and belong. It's very, very important. Here you look at nothing. The person has been employed. He's accepted as who he is. He's a male. He's a female.
Come as you are.
Yes. He had this qualification. Now, this is not the only one-day ceremony to let the person know that I've been accepted here. It has a whole lot of activities that goes under that. So in this stage, you feel safe to be yourself, and you are accepted for who you are, including your unique attribute and defining characteristics.
And in fact, on this point, Uncle James, you know, there's something I refer to. Sometimes we talk about it in interviews, that when you are joining a new team, we need to look at, and every employer should think about this, or entrepreneur, the ability of the person being interviewed to assimilate into the team. And the ability of the team to assimilate with the person. So I call it the assimilation curve. You can be the best accountant. If you are obnoxious and you have an unpleasant disposition, you will cause problems in the team.
Your inclusion
you can be the most pleasant person and nice person to be around. If you do not have the competency to be with people, you will have problems assimilating, or the team assimilating with you. And every new joiner goes through that. There's a curve.
There's a curve
how quickly they accept you or not.
I just
want to buttress the friendship.
It's a very important point. We need to create every environment, and as you said, at the point of entry, we must be able to assess how this person can easily. There's a company that engaged me because of one person. So they have wanted me to engage the person. I say, no, it will be too obvious. Are you getting it? You leave it for me. So I did not even ask the name and the details of the person. I gave them first assessment to do before I get there. And I called the lady and I pick it up. I say, wow, how did you know? I say, well, I have to know. Because these are psychromatic measures. It's you, but you don't know. As you give out the questions, it's a reflection of who you are. So I did a training for all the team. Then from there, I kneel down to the person. We go for lunch and those kind of things, and I was working on the person. If I've gone straight, it would have been something.
It would have closed up completely.
That is it. He said, oh, they've told you all about me, but you could see that the person was even very happy and enjoying the training. So it's very, very important that we help people to do this. Now, the first stage of psychological safety is normal acceptance in the team. There shouldn't be any conditions for the person. Are you getting my point? The only condition is that we took you on the fact that you are a chartered accountant. So as you talked about, the competency is there, and you have the ability to also gel with people. That should be the only condition. It shouldn't be that, oh, he's from this region, this race, he speaks this language, I don't like the color, those things. No. Those things don't come in there, right? The team accepts the new person and consider him or her as a part of the team identity. So you become part, you give the badge and all those kind of things. Everything you need to identify with the group is done to you. This is not stand-alone event, but a respected signal and evidence of acceptance. Now, they grant inclusion safety based on human status and not on criteria like appearances, social status, or material possession. Right? It's very, very important. Now, let's move to the learner safety. This is the other time you ask a question that I think it's likely people will make mistakes or something like that. I've forgotten the question, but it's likely to come up again.
I'm sure it will.
From the acceptance stage or the inclusion stage, you move to the learner stage. Now, these are stages to ensure that the workplace is psychologically safe. That means people will be able to voice out when they need to voice out. They will be able to challenge the status quo and all those kind of things. Now, the learner stage satisfies the need to learn and grow. You get my point? Every job has its own one way or other to do things, right? So what is done here may probably be a little bit different from what is done here. Although we are all in the banking sector or the media space or those kind of things, we have what we call the institutional culture that you need to need to get yourself acquainted with. So here, the opportunity must be given to the person, the new person, to learn. This is where probably your boss is that good. He will be taking you through certain things that you need to know about the work. Are you getting my point? He gives you opportunity. It also comes in the form of giving the person opportunity to really work on what he has been employed to do. There are some managers, they can do everything except changing men to women and women to men, right? So if you are a manager like that and somebody comes under you, 2-3 years, the person may not be able to do anything. That means psychologically, the person is not safe. So we are talking about situations where the managers, the management will now offer this new person opportunity to learn, right? You send them on assignment. When they come, you review, you correct them, you ask them to do certain things. You send them to trainings. Appropriate trainings are very, very important. So we have companies that the HR will come around with most of the trainings that are in the system, right? Maybe Banking College is running some trainings. They know other institutions, they are running some trainings. So they pick and choose which one will be relevant for new people that have joined the company. And some companies, during the orientation, you may have the opportunity to learn a whole lot about the company and what you need to do. So this stage is also very, very important. In this stage, you feel safe to exchange learning process by asking questions and giving feedback. And here you will be experimenting and even making mistakes, right? Yeah. Because sometimes there are likelihood mistakes that is taken to be normal. So you do some of these things, and that is where the experience comes in. You may have the theoretical background, debit Kofi, credit Kwame, but probably practically it's not always that you debit Kofi and credit Kwame. So they teach you some of these things. It's a very important stage that employers should be very mindful of. Now, mistakes, right? When mistakes are properly reviewed, it brings more learning to people. Are you getting my point? So we should teach people to learn. Are you getting my point? We should help people to learn rather than teaching to probably disgrace them or something like that. So there's an opportunity for every leader to help anybody that is under you. This stage shift from human needs or status to what? To the one that you really need to perform. Now, learner safety is an enabler of learning. This is the conditions will be created for you to really learn. So sometimes they will take you to know all the department, what the department, each department does. Are you getting my point? So they will take you to radio, you watch them a little bit. They will take you to probably
TV,
Studio B, Studio A, whatever.
Production
engineering. Good. Are you getting my point? When it comes to the banking, you go to the tellers, you observe them, you go to the back office, those kind of things. Treasury and all, so that generally at least you have a feel of what everybody does. So this is a place that we need to caution the staff. You have to be very serious to be seen to be learning, right? I'm using seeing, but not to fake. Are you getting? I mean, genuinely, you must be seen to be learning and absorbing and making sure that you are fitting. Because there are some basic things that if they teach you 1, 2, you still forget. It's like you were not paying attention at the learning stage. And then it's not good like that. Here you need to be very curious. And that willingness should be coming from you. This is the point to ask the relevant questions. Are you getting my point? They have given you the opportunity. So you are free to be vulnerable. Are you getting my? Get all the information you need before you go and mess up when you are being sent or put on the proper job. So the orientation stage is very, very important. Learners' safety allows staff to practice more, experiment, and solve difficult challenges. Because in the learning stage, sometimes if you make the mistake, it's pardonable.
It is.
Are you getting my point? I mean, your manager or your boss knows that, me cry when I came, Charlie. I struggled
They
small.
cut you a certain slack. They don't put you on the forefront of the production.
That is it.
So you're in a dummy space.
That is it.
And the things you do, if there are fallouts,
Yeah.
They can manage it.
You can manage it.
They won't send you to a meeting with the regulator.
No. You won't receive query and those kind of
Yeah.
things. So this is the situation that you also need to take advantage and master. It's very, very important. You get to my point. Yeah. When team punishes more than it teaches, people become more defensive and less diagnostic and self-respected. Now, we at this stage we need to be very careful how we treat people on the mistakes they do. It should rather be a learning curve, a caution. Let them know the red flags that when you see this one, it's a sign that you need to be very, very careful. Right? The team will grant the learner safety by encouraging the learner to learn. It's very, very important. Right? It's good. It leads to promotion of good emotional environment, because the person know that, oh, I did this wrong, but there, Charlie, I was spared on this one. If I repeat it again after 2 weeks, I will be in trouble, right? So at that stage, the proper emotional condition is created. Why? Because when people lose emotional engagement, intellectual engagement fails. It's very, very important, right? Because the emotional health of the person will determine how far he or she can be intellectually sound. It's very, very important that we look at some of these things. Then we move to the third stage, contributor safety. This is where the person has been accepted, is given the opportunity to learn. Some big companies, they will send you abroad and all those kind of things. They are not sending you there just to come and lazy around. They want you to get to a point that you will contribute. Are you getting me? They will start seeing the value that they have invested in you. And when you fail at that point, you have yourself to blame. Right? So whilst we are urging the employer, we are also cautioning the employee to be very careful of these stages, because you don't get to the contributor stage and you are now in the learning stage. You will be in trouble.
Something interesting happened. So I spoke to someone who was employed by a company many years ago, and they flew this person to South Africa. You know, I think it was Singapore or South Africa. And then I said, we're able to get some rest after your long flight. He says, yeah, now wait to me. If you look at the job they've given me, the position, the elevation, the money they've spent on the ticket, the hotel room I'm sleeping in, and the assignment I'm supposed to present in the morning, into Munda.
So they expect a lot from you. You get to my point. So the third stage is the contributor safety. Has the condition been created for the person to contribute now? Now note, if conditions are not also created, that person's contribution will still be lost to the company.
Right.
So it's from both sides. The conditions need to be right. Are you getting my point? So here, contributor safety satisfies the need to make a difference. Now is the time for Yaw to make a difference. Are you getting me? I don't think you started sitting on interview when you started working with a bank. Are you getting my point? Yeah. Now is the time as a contributor or safety. Right? So they put you on those things and they know that, no, this person can deliver. We're giving him the opportunity. He's been included. He's gone through the learning stage. Now we need something from this person. So if this person is not there, he can stand in to do whatever he needs to do for us. You feel safe to use your skills and abilities and make a meaningful contribution. You feel very safe. Are you getting my point? Then you make a meaningful contribution. And this is where a new member starts to participate as an active and full-fledged member. So in the contribution stage, this person has now become a very good integral part of the whole. The team or the management. His contributions. There are some meetings they wait for him. Are you getting my point? Especially pitching for a contract. Those guys, they know that this guy.
Have you spoken to James?
Yeah.
I want to know what James thinks of
this. That is it. Now is the contributing stage.
You are sharing so much information and it's so important for us. But I want our listeners to enjoy and be a part of this thing, because thankfully we're going to be here for a couple more weeks. So we want to take a quick break from the discussion, take a message from our sponsors. When we come back, then we get interactive and we continue.
Thank you.
Your favorite on-air business development program, Joy Business Masterclass, is in session, and you can interact with us on Facebook via the Joy 99.7 FM or Joy Business pages. If you tweet, the handle is at Joy 997 FM or at Joy Business GH. Don't forget to hashtag JB Masterclass. You can also call us on 0302 216541 or send your questions and contributions through to the WhatsApp number 0551 111997, and our facilitators will address your concerns. Attention everyone, class is in progress.
Welcome back. If you've just tuned in, this is Masterclass here on your Superstation Joy 99.7. We're here in the studio with Uncle James Addison, CEO of Addison International, and we're having a conversation on creating psychological safety at work. We want you to be a part of that conversation. You're an employer, you're an employee. What's your experience at work? Do you feel psychologically safe? Do you feel unsafe? Have you taken steps to feel safe or not? Pick up that phone, give us a call. Phone lines are now open. Numbers to call 0302-216-541. That's 0302-216-541. You can also send us a message on 055-11-11997. If you're driving, please do not text because we definitely want you to arrive alive. But otherwise, pick up that phone, give us a call 0302-216-541. If you drive a motor vehicle of any kind, then Goyle has some brilliant news for you. Today's edition of Masterclass is brought to us by Goyle. Goyle Good Energy, Goyle Yenara Yedia. So Goyle PLC, your CIMG Hall of Fame and 2022 Petroleum Company of the Year, has taken the lead again. Goyle has opened an ultra-modern liquefied petroleum auto gas stations across the nation. The modern auto gas service is safe, clean, and they offer affordable alternative fuel for your vehicle. So we ask that you look out for the Goyle Auto Gas Station in the following areas: Bema Camp Goyle Service Station, Accra; Peshi Goyle Service Station, Accra; Pedu Junction Goyle Service Station, Cape Coast; Mpintin Goyle Service Station, Takrade; Kentin Krono Goyle Service Station, Kumasi. Goyle, delivering the safest and affordable gas at your convenience. Goyle Good Energy, Goyle Yenara Yedia. Phone lines remain open. Numbers to call 0302-216-541. You can send us your comments on 055-11-11997. Uncle James, I think you were making a point when we had to get interactive, so maybe you conclude that point.
Okay.
And then as we wait for the phone lines to ring or the messages to drop on the console.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. So the contributor safety is an invitation for the new person to fully play his role assigned to him. It's very, very important. The team grants the learner the contributor safety when he or she has demonstrated skills related to the assigned role. This point is very, very crucial. Yeah, when they see that you can't do it, they won't risk it. Although you are in that state, they won't assign you. So this is granted you based on your demonstration of the skills that you need to acquire.
Right.
The time you've been with them.
Right.
It's very, very important that
I have a question here while we're waiting for the phone lines to ring. You talked about allowing new entrants the opportunity to learn.
Good.
So how does an employer who's listening to us this afternoon achieve that?
Good.
And maintain control to avoid culture disruption? Because people have come from different places and there are different cultures which exist in different places. So where I am, we do things this way.
Yeah.
And when I come, I feel that that's the best practice.
Then
how does a manager or a new employer allow a new entrant opportunity to learn but maintain control to avoid culture disruption in the company where they currently are?
Yeah. Now, you see, it's very, very important that we appreciate the fact that when we change, certain things around us must also change. So the culture of where you are coming from may be a little bit different for where you are going. And that should be accepted because when you were going, they ask you, how much do you take? And you say 5,000. They say, we'll give you 6,000. That one, you accepted it. So when you are here and there's some few disturbances to your new coming, you need to accept it. What every change comes with some disturbance period. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Your ability to be stable during that turbulent time is also very important. So what we need to do, especially employers, is to make sure that we let people see the need, the rationale behind what we do. Because when people get to know the rationale behind what they are doing, I think it makes it a little bit easier for them to accept it. And cultural intelligence, as you said, is very, very important. So some of these trainings in emotional intelligence and those things must be part of the training for new ones, so that they get to know that new environment with some new changes. If only it's not detrimental to your health or a risk, I don't see the reason why probably you should get annoyed. For instance, most of the Ghanaian companies, they have started, they pray every morning. Are you getting my point? Maybe you two are like me, you don't go to church office. But when you get there,
just jump into work.
You have to come to office.
I'm on pay though. I'm on pay. I had never pay.
Are you getting my? So some of these things, they come. We need to be very flexible. To be frank, flexibility is so important when you are changing, right? And I tell people that the body itself has a flexible intentions. Everything is flexible. Your hand and everything. So anybody that is not flexible, you have a challenge in wherever you find yourself. So flexibility.
Phone lines are still open. 0302216541. Pick up that phone, give us a call. What's your personal experience at work in terms of psychological safety? Or you can also send us your message on 05511119997. So I like the keyword you talked about. You talk about flexibility and the fact that we should give room for people to move, both from the employer side and from the employee side. So following from that, how then does an employer who has just hired, let's say, a top staff, you're paying them premium, 7,000, 8,000, like you're talking about, even more. But the person comes in and you require the skill or competency they have, and yet they have what you come to know as discordant behavior to your existing culture. You sign a contract. You probably pay for the guy for the first 4 months, but you find that their behavior is affecting the staff in the team adversely. You are getting your job done. You are getting your reports out. The regulator is happy with you, but everyone is just glum. What should an employer do in that case? And what should the rest of the team members who are there also do?
Good. It's very, very important. I will look at it from the two angles. You know, the employer first need to take this person through a training, right? You don't make it too visible, but take them through a trainings like temperament, trainings on emotional intelligence, trainings on workplace ethics, and those kind of things. That is one of the first things that employer can do. Secondly, you can have a way of engaging that person from time to time, because you are the boss. He's likely to be learning from you. Are you getting my point? I mean, if he's not learning directly from you, CEO and maybe a manager, or head of department, there's no way he will be happy disrespecting you. So there are some personal engagements level that you can do. All this is making sure that he will be able to come to terms with how your culture is in that workplace. Are you getting my point? Now, it gets to a time, there's a limit to what you can do. Are you getting my point? You may be very good, but if you tried all this, are you getting my point? And it's not working. It's up to you to, because you see, that person can be there. 2 or 3 of your other staffs can leave. Are you getting my point? So sum up of them is almost equal to him. So you need to probably go out there again and get somebody. This time around, you must make sure that during the interview, some of these essential skills could be picked up, because it's very dangerous when technicality is made to overtake simple, human relations and those kind of things.
The soft skills.
The soft skills. Are you getting me? Now, the team should also try to accommodate to some level. Are you getting my point? I'm very careful here, because if it's in the marriage, I could have just asked you to understand the person. It's not always that you can change the person, right? But in the workplace, we have target, we have customers at stake, and so many things. But if it's in the marriage, I would say understand your husband. Your husband wants to eat 3 o'clock. You can't change him. He wants to eat 3. So try and get a job that will allow you for you to feed him 3 o'clock just to solve it. God, that one is for better, for worse. But here, it's not for better, for worse. When it becomes too worse for the employer, he will be chased out. Are you getting my point? So there's the need for you also to be very careful, because you need to change. That is why emotional intelligence is so important. Your ability to understand your own emotions and that of others, so that you can live empathetically, functionally with other people. Are you getting it? So training in that area will help, and then the team should also try and probably understand him to some level. But if the person still doesn't change, then probably we've hired a wrong person. And it's good that sometimes there are probations. Are you getting my point?
Right.
So if it's too much, you can change. Because there are some people, it's difficult for them to change. Yeah, very, very difficult. Yeah. But you see, one of the areas that you can get this person to listen to you is that let the person know that the technical ability is an entry point to who you can become in any company. Are you getting me? Remember last time I told you that a research was done, 75% of world seasoned hiring managers and CEOs prefer to promote, somebody with higher EQ but low IQ. They prefer that one. Average IQ but high EQ, they prefer. Because at that point is the harmony you will be able to create, your ability to trigger the relevant emotions in people towards achieving the goal is more important than the technical. I've got a technical, even the CEOs, they don't do too much technical now. Are you getting our operation risk officers?
Based.
That is it. The risk officer is doing those things. Risk assessment, operations officer, the researchers. So at that level, you just look at one or two. He's looking for opportunity to meet that man, that giant, that investor in town. And those things are soft skills. The way you speak to the person, the way you pick up their course. You don't go there and speak mathematics or English. Are you getting my point? So sometimes we carry people with some expertise to that point, thinking that he's an economist. So when he's here, everything will be fine. When you get there, the microeconomics and the macroeconomics, it doesn't define them there. It's about the relationship within the people. Are you getting my point?
I think I have a comment on social media. Let me take this one.
Okay.
This one is from Kwesi in Kaswa. Kwesi says, your guest indicated, so good afternoon, Masterclass. Your guest indicated at the initial stage that our educational system is too bookish and dysfunctional in relation to the jobs that are available, hence the need for in-service training. He said he would address that issue for the nation in tertiary institutions in relation to the programs and courses that have been run. I think he was referring to the point you made that you were going to address this issue nationally. But then he talks about the fact that our educational process is also too kind of text-based, theoretical. Maybe, I don't know if you care to comment briefly.
I think he made some right observation that to me, education is meaningless if it can't help you to customize whatever you are doing in your country. Are you getting me? You go to other countries in their parliament, they speak their local language so that my mother will understand, my mother can contribute. Are you getting? People can really listen and question you. Now, most people cannot even go to parliament and argue, but those people are very sensible in their head. Are you getting? But the English language has become a barrier. And I was a little bit, we don't need to go there, but we need to make sure that practically our people can do something. Are you getting? I saw one of my children, they've given him job description. They are teaching him job description. And everything there was like still book. I said, but they can even tell these people that get the Daily Graphic. Are you getting my point? Get the Ghanaian Times. Fish out what is there and come and tell us. Simple. I got job descriptions, they say 0.1, 0.2, but you see what these ones have been drafted.
It's completely theoretical.
That is it.
So we should begin to look at moving towards a more practical and
approach.
Experiential-based approach.
That is it.
Yes. I always say that, and I think the educational system, they are trying. GS, if you are listening, good afternoon to you. We would like you to call into the show, not today, maybe next week, and share some thoughts. But I always tell the joke and I say, I did geography in school, in SS. I never saw igneous rocks until I finished school and had the opportunity to travel. And somebody said, this is igneous rocks, and this is sedimentary rocks. You think that between me and the child who is going on excursions today and is going on school trips, field trips to see, how would they will always remember igneous rocks?
They will remember it. They will remember it.
We've run out of time, Uncle James. Thankfully, we're back next week, God willing. But what's our takeout for today? If people require information on what you have shared, where do they find it? Where do they find you online? Just wrap up for us. And when you're done, give us our takeout from today's conversation.
Thank you very much. I think we've shared a couple of things in here. I have a couple of books in the system. So if you need any of my books, my number is 055 945 9207. 055 945 9207. Now, you can also look for me on James Kwesi Addison on Facebook and then Emotional Intelligent TV, EITV on YouTube. Now, our take home today is the fact that we need to create environment for people to feel safe when we engage them. And we look at the 4 areas of doing that. We need to let them feel included. We need to allow them to learn. We need to give them the opportunity after they've learned so much and gotten that experience to now contribute. It's very, very important. And last but not the least, we need to allow them to challenge the status quo. Because we can't continue to do what we are doing. Are you getting my point? And expect the same, change results or different results. And as we said, our educational setup, we need to start looking at so many things differently. How is it benefiting us? And somebody will say, a country that Greek is optional, but English is compulsory, then we speak English and we are hungry. Are you getting?
Very profound statement there. I think we'll end on that profound note. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been Masterclass here on your superstation, Joy 99.7. God willing, next week we come your way with yet another exciting edition. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you same time next week.